All right, so let's go ahead and get going. Hope that everybody's doing well. I know there aren't very many of you out there right now, but I hope that everybody's doing fine. I went ahead and upgraded to the most recent nightly, so we'll see what kind of things we can break tonight. I hope that everybody had a good and hopefully relaxing weekend, unless you were working, and then hopefully now is your weekend. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I apologize for the screaming cat. What do you want? Oh no. There you go. Okay. And before we actually get jumping in too far, really quick, I want to say thank you to Doc Larry Sportello. Doc Larry Sportello, thank you for following yesterday when I wasn't even live. That's awesome. All right, so the last time we left off, what all was going on? So we did both of our data center raids yesterday, or the last time we were on, and we were victorious in both of them. Whoop, whoop. But now it's time to move on. What kind of things do we have to repair? A bunch, which is always a great time. If you hear a loud bump, blame the cat. If you want to see more of the cat, let me know. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some repair. No, don't do that. This is who you have to blame. He's causing problems. All right, so let's go ahead and repair some armor here. Fortunately, it's not too bad. Oops. So for those of you either watching live right now, or even those of you who are watching later on YouTube or watching a VOD here on Twitch, pop on over to YouTube and leave a comment. But I want to know. So I was looking through YouTube the other day, and there are not a ton of tutorial videos on getting started in MekHQ with any recent-ish version. I think the most recent one I saw was like 50.01 or 50.02. And I was thinking about, once 50.10 comes out, something tells me it might be a little while before we get another release of MekHQ. Would it be something that you guys would like or think would be useful to have both a beginner just starting out in MegaMek or MekHQ tutorial that really just kind of very simply steps through things, getting you started, as well as kind of a veteran one for folks who maybe have a lot of experience with BattleTech, but maybe not as much with MekHQ? I don't know. What do you guys think? We'll do a little extra time, try to get this down a little bit, maybe use a better tech. This Shadow Hawk had a bad day. Okay, we don't need to do 4 times though. Oops. So we'll do all of that. Do some reloading. Do some replacing. All right. Now, as a reminder, the mission that we are on right now is a planetary assault. We're doing a planetary assault, and we've actually completed 4 of the 5 objectives to kind of get us through to where we need to go. So we've captured, destroyed a designated facility at a location that we discovered. We captured and destroyed another facility that we discovered. There was a 3rd facility out there that we still have to discover that we need to locate and capture or destroy. And then, of course, we have engaged and defeated hostile forces in at least one engagement or more. Okay, bud. You gotta stop tapping the microphone, though. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go on to the next day here. Kind of having a hard time remembering what we were even doing. So I've been messing around a lot in the most recent nightly. I decided to experiment with, you roll with 40 million credits and you start with 2 people in your company. Your commander and like a random, like an HR person. And that's all you start with. 40 million credits, your commander and an HR person. And then what can you do? And so you can only hire people, for the most part, from the personnel market. You can only buy units from the unit market. The only exception I made to that was I could buy a mash truck and a canteen from just purchasing it. Everything else had to come from the unit market and nothing else. It was a very, very interesting experience. Okay, so we did some maintenance. We kind of repaired some things. Hold on, how bad? Left torso. And we permanently damaged our left torso, which is super bad because it's at 1. Which means we have to take everything off and put our left torso back together. All right. Let's go ahead and go forward today. Oh, and everybody came home. Okay, I'll deal with that Shadowhawk later. Let's go ahead and start repairing some things. And while we're at it, I don't think I ever... Nope. So we'll do a parts fill, and I like to keep standard armor at like 150%. Then we have plenty around in case we need it. We couldn't be that lucky. We'll reload our LRM. We'll fix our Warhammer. We'll fix our Grasshopper. The other Grasshopper is going to take some love. In fact, it's going to take a lot of love. Lots and lots of love. I mean, I love Grasshoppers, but that one needs all of the love it can possibly get right now. Okay. And we'll fix up the guillotine, and then we're going to send our scouts out to go look for things again. All right, let's patrol and see what's happening. Yes, I am sure. Whoa. Okay, that was great. Remember, friends, scout from a mountaintop. Okay, I suppose we should actually get working on this Grasshopper and putting it back together somehow. Something else I'm curious about for anybody watching now or anybody watching in the future, when you're watching MegaMek, or you're watching BattleTech, you're watching BattleTech, or what do you like seeing the most? Do you enjoy seeing kind of what's happening with MekHQ and kind of the logistics side or the management side of BattleTech, or do you just kind of follow along and skip to where all the battles happen and that's what you're watching? Or do you jump in to just listen and hear what's happening? I think I mentioned it before, but when I would listen to other people play MegaMek or listen to like Dwarf Fortress, things like that, I would just kind of jump in, and I didn't care as much about at first I would listen along to like learn how to play or something like that, but overall I would jump into it, just kind of hang out, see what was going on. I kind of wish I could remember what happened with all of this. All right, let's do all of that and see where that lands us. And then as for the javelin, we'll replace some armor. We can repair a torso. Maybe repair an arm. I'll hold off on replacing the cockpit for right now. And that's a pretty good place to stop. Shadowhawk number 2 is not in a unit, right? No, it's not. Okay. Here we go. Let's go on to the next day and let's see what happens. Things get fixed, which is great. We'll advance another day. Oh, good. Sergeant Mariana, Token Bella, delivered a baby boy. It was 4.3 kilograms. That is a large baby. That is definitely a large baby. How much does that actually weigh? That is 3 times 2.2. A 9.5 pound baby. Oof. Okay. Both are stable now. Sometimes luck is on our side. Fantastic news. Okay, so things have been added. Oof. Our logistics people are going to be busy for a while. Sorry, not sorry. All right, let's go. Because you are postpartum. Assign. Should probably make my doctor a little better. Doctor. We'll just do it like this. Doctor. Spend XP, new skills. Support. Wait, not new skills, current skills. Surgery. And we should probably also make it so you can, well, 23. Yeah, more gooder surgery. That's what we need. Gooder surgery. So go forward one more day. I think it's time for us to scout around a little bit again. So we'll get Charlie Lance out there. Yes. And we get to see the world around us. when did I get an LRM carrier? Oh, I think it was a special bonus. Okay, I think it's time. After we finish repairing this grasshopper a little bit more, it's probably time for us to start tearing that Shadowhawk down so we can replace the left torso. And for those of you wondering, I did go ahead and update this to the most recent nightly. So this is 11/17. We'll reattach. Boop. Should get done sometimes tomorrow. The game is running a little slow for some reason. I don't know why. Oh no. And then let's go ahead and replace a standard cockpit. 300 minutes. Here's to hoping. Man, I don't know why the game is running a little slow. All right, let's move on. Okay, so we do some maintenance, we find some parts. We are getting ever closer to fully repairing this poor little grasshopper that was torn to bits. Probably would have been more cost efficient to just buy a new one, but what's the fun in that? Right. Do I still have people out and about? Yes. Can replace a heatsink and a medium laser. Oops. Okay, the end is in sight. All right, what are we missing? We're missing a cockpit. We'll order some of those, and I also just like to have some on hand. So we'll go down to where it says standard cockpit. The default for having some on hand is 0. I don't know. I like to have like 30% on hand. for when I, destroy other mechs and have to replace their cockpits. So we'll move forward today. Charlie Lance comes back home. I think it's time for us to start looking at this side of the map, maybe. Yow. Aha! We found the data center. All right, contract objective located, hostile data center, and additional hostile mech patrol will sweep through scenarios on this track. All right, and our Able Lance is in pretty healthy condition. I just want to look. So, Sergeant Mariana Bella is the one who just gave birth. Good for you. But can anybody here be made better, made gooder? So, gunnery, note, piloting, yes. Okay, so we can make this guy a 2-3 pilot. I'll take that. You're currently a 3-3. What can we do for you? Anything? We need 26 XP. That's not going to happen. And same thing there. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump on over to our area of operations. I think it's time for us to attack a data center. What do you think? Able Lance. Go Power Ranger. Yes. Commit. So this was a hot topic on the Discord channel. And for those of you not on the Discord channel, you should go join the Discord channel. So there is currently an option in, StratOps to be able to reinforce through multiple different ways. You can reinforce with an entire lance by manage reinforcements and pick a lance and have them reinforce, and you use your support points. You can also utilize the leadership of the commander of a lance to pull 1, 2, 3, however many units, as long as you have the BV based on leadership points. There's a couple other ways too, and there were some pretty hot takes on there. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Briefing room, turning point. All right. What are we doing here? A hidden enemy-controlled facility has been identified for destruction. This installation is too valuable to remain in enemy hands, and its defenders must be eliminated to ensure it is no longer operational. Your mission is to destroy at least 75% of the defending forces. This is not an occupation. This is an eradication. The priority is destruction, not capture. Do not concern yourself with securing the facility. The enemy will fight to protect this installation, but their defenses will crumble under sustained pressure. Crush their forces, level their defenses, and ensure that when the battle is over, the facility is of no use to anyone. The victor will control the battlefield at the end of the engagement. If the facility remains salvageable at the end of the assault, we will destroy it. The enemy will be left with nothing but ruins. Execute with overwhelming force and leave no doubt who owns this battlefield. Okay, so we've got Able Lance, who is obviously capable. We've also got our allies who are bringing in Ossaul and a Grasshopper who's got an okay pilot. The enemy will have a heavy flak turret and a light missile turret, and then they're also bringing along a Vulcan, Blackjack Griffin, and a Warhammer. And as a reminder, we can only take 20% salvage on this. We're already a little bit over on this, so we're probably not going to be able to take anything home with us. And this cooks off in 3 days. Oh, good. We had an LRM come in. So we can do this, and then this, and a jump jet, and we have another Grasshopper. This is great. Grasshoppers are potentially some of my favorite mechs. I have a soft spot for Grasshoppers, and I have a soft spot for Black Knights. All right, let's see what happens next. Now that we're not working on that, I think it's time to start tearing apart that Shadowhawk. So we'll go into salvage. And that was the left torso. So we need to salvage everything off of the left arm. And now that's done, we go to the left torso and we salvage everything off of the left torso. And then on the center torso, nope, on all, we take that left torso and we salvage it, or we scrap it. Because we can't, let's just triple check. Yeah, we can't repair it. All right, we'll scrap it. Oh my goodness. Must remove the left arm. Okay, sounds good. Salvage. And we'll have to order a new left torso, and so it's going to take a while for it to come in. But we can salvage the left arm. Ta-da! And then we can ditch the left torso. All right, and now all we have to do is get a new torso that is already on order. Advance a day. And we should be on a day for fighting, and our person who's going crazy is still going crazy. Nothing changes. We found some parts. We added things to a procurement list. Everything is good there. Let's go ahead and go to our briefing room. Oh, and now we have a convoy raid. Would you look at that? So we have a convoy raid down here. Let's take a look at that really quick. You know what? No, we'll take a look at that once we get back. So this is number 3 of 3 data centers. We'll go ahead and start the game. This is just a reiteration of all the things we just said. Commence drop. Go! All right. And because it's the first time I'm loading up MekHQ today, it's going to take a minute to load up MegaMek. So I'll go ahead and take this opportunity for anybody who's watching. If you are enjoying this content so far and you're watching on Twitch, I would really appreciate if you gave it a follow. I'm about 9 followers away from being able to get that coveted affiliate status. It would be great if you would join me. And then if you're watching on YouTube at a later date, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button and like the video. It helps other people find this content as well. And if you're watching on YouTube at a later date and you're really wishing that you saw something else, or there was something that you didn't see that you'd like to see, just let me know. Leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. All right, so here we are loaded into MegaMek, and let's go. Oh no, every time. It gets me every time. Client settings, audio, mute, auto display player list, hide, and this needs to be a orange. So I did orange, yellow. There we go. That'll be great. Main, cool. Go away, do the round report, done. Hit the wrong button. Audio. Mute my notification sound. Oh, it's because if you hit the X button, it doesn't save. Yeah, dumb. Okay. That should be more gooders. And we lost initiative. That's fine. Well, I think we'll go ahead and start there so we don't have to immediately drop down a level. And then the Warhammer. We can go right there with the Warhammer. Go there with our Grasshopper, and the Guillotine can support the Grasshopper. And the name of the game, like always, is just close the distance. All right. Oh, man. Every time I update this, I forget to do the things. There we go. So close the distance in a way that we can still shoot the things, I hope. All right, LRMs are at 10, large lasers at 12, and forget about it with everything else. Go ahead and do the LRMs. That puts us at 6 heat, and then we can do at least one large laser and hope for the best. Can't really do a whole lot. PPCs are at 12. It's worth it to fire one to see what happens. Ooh. Oh, that looks good. 7 on the large laser. I will take that. And the 7 on the LRM. Please. Thank you. Guillotine, what do you have to say about the matter? Oh, you can't see the Griffin. 12 on the large laser to hit the Vulcan. Okay. And that's all we're probably going to do this turn. All right, so Stalker firing hits with one of the LRM-10s with 6 of the missiles. 5 damage to the right torso, 1 damage to the left arm. Everything else misses. The Warhammer misses. Allied Ossaul misses. Grasshopper hits with the LRM-5 with 3 of the 5 missiles, doing 3 damage to the left torso. Vulcan hits the left arm of the Warhammer for 2 damage. Guillotine misses. The enemy Griffin fires a large laser at the Grasshopper and hits the right torso. And then the Allied Grasshopper misses. Moving on into the next turn, everybody's pretty much at 0 heat with the exception of our Allied Ossaul. We lose initiative. So we go first. We'll continue trying to close the distance. Kind of want to keep the Warhammer walking to see if we can't improve his hit chance. Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, that is a brave little Griffin. Brave, brave little Griffin. Oh, that poor little Griffin. All right, so LRMs are an 8. I think that's a no-brainer. LRM or large lasers are going to be a 10 SRM, and all the medium lasers will be a 12. So 1. We'll risk it. We'll do both. Nah, just we'll do 1 large laser for right now, and that should be just fine for the Warhammer. No shots on anything, unfortunately. Sad day. Can you see? Nope. Can't even see the turrets. Grasshopper doesn't have a shot, which is sad. But the Guillotine this turn does. So 7 on the large laser, which I'll take. We got a twist. 9s for the medium lasers. So we'll do a couple of those. And the SRM-6. Do one more, put us 1 heat over, and that will be A-OK. Stalker firing an LRM-10 hits with 6 of the 10 missiles. 5 damage to the center torso, doing a critical hit on the engine. Also 1 damage to the left leg. Everything else misses. Our Guillotine misses everything. Enemy Griffin fires and only hits with an LRM-5. 5 missiles to the right arm of the Stalker. No one else fired. That Griffin is going to get a little toasty now. So we'll skip our physical attacks. There's nothing really for us to do. Griffin is now at 9 heat because it gained 25 heat with that engine hit. And we win initiative. So let's see. That was a very silly... So they're kind of backing off. I don't like isolating my mechs, but at the same time, I think the Warhammer can do a lot more good if it comes out here. And then it can potentially go and get half cover. What would that be? A 4? It's not... I don't think it's worth it to risk the roll. Even with a 4, as easy as that is, it would just be very silly. So we'll just jump into town and see what happens. The Griffin jumped, which will make it a little harder to hit, but we can still put a couple of LRMs towards it. The large laser will also be a 10, which is going to be fine. Hopefully one of those can maybe hit. So 11's on the PPC from the Warhammer hitting the Blackjack. We'll have to take it with one of those, but that's all we're going to do this turn for him. First shot that he fired in the game, though. So the question is, we can do 5, 10, 15, 20, 28 damage with the Grasshopper, and then something similar with the Guillotine. So if we can do 50 damage to that building, we can make it fall, which I always think is fun. Sometimes I make a building collapse, even though I know it's not the right thing to do. I kind of want to do that. We're going to do that. So Blackjack fires twice and misses. Stalker hits with one of the LRM-10s, hitting 5 damage to the left leg, 1 damage to the center torso. Everything else misses. Warhammer misses. Grasshopper, allied Grasshopper against the Griffin only hits with 1 medium laser to the center torso, doing 5 damage. The enemy Griffin misses with everything. Our Grasshopper naturally hits the stationary building at point blank range, doing a bunch of damage, dropping the CF down to 59. There is a 55-ton mech standing on top. If you didn't know, when the CF drops below the tonnage of the mech, the building collapses. So then the Guillotine fires, doing a bunch more damage, dropping the CF down to 31. Building collapses based on the load. The Griffin is hit by falling debris, doing 4 damage to the right leg. Then, due to the Griffin falling 2 levels, it takes 18 damage, doing 5 damage to the left torso, 5 damage to the left arm, 5 damage to the left leg, and 3 damage to the left arm. The pilot needs to roll a 6 to avoid damage and succeeds. So we'll skip all of our physical attacks. Not a lot for us to do there. And the other nice thing is that the Griffin can't jump this turn now because it is starting out prone. So we'll bring our stalker up. Probably not going to be able to do a lot this turn. Bring the Warhammer up. What is the height of that building? That's the question. So that is a height 1 building. You don't want to stand right there then. And it's a CF55 building with a 40-ton mech standing on top of it. Friends, have we learned nothing? Have we learned nothing? So the Griffin stands up, which we already knew. Does the Warhammer have a shot on anything? It does not, unfortunately. It can't even hit any of the turrets. So we'll skip that turn. The Stalker, however, has shots on the Blackjack as well as the Vulcan. But the Blackjack's actually the easier target to hit. So we'll fire both of our LRMs and the large laser, and we'll call it a day on that one. Now then, the Grasshopper. I want to go ahead and create a bad day for that Griffin. And I don't think it's going to be that hard, considering it was all 3s to hit with those lasers. But this Vulcan, I really want to create a different kind of bad day. I want him to know that he should not have landed there. And that should be enough, because that's 8, 13, 18. That should be more than enough. 21 or 20. Yeah. Hold on. Math is hard. 23. Maybe I could have done more damage by actually shooting at the darn thing, but why? All right, so the enemy Blackjack fires at the guillotine, hits with an AC2, was going to hit the head, re-rolls, and instead hits the right torso. Thank you, Edge, and then takes another 2 damage to the left torso. Stalker fires, hits with the LRM-10 with 6 missiles, 5 damage to the center torso, 1 damage to the left leg, misses with everything else. Enemy Warhammer firing double PPCs and a beam laser, misses against the guillotine. Allied Ossaul firing into the Warhammer, hits with a large laser, and misses with everything else, doing 8 damage to the right leg and 8 damage to the left arm. Grasshopper into the Griffin, medium laser into the center torso, and then 5 damage to the right leg, 5 damage to the right leg, a 5 damage to the center torso, doing a gyro hit, and then 8 damage to the left leg, doing a crit on the lower leg. This dude's going to have a hard time staying standing. I'm excited to find out if he does. Enemy Vulcan firing a medium laser into the Grasshopper, doing 5 damage to the right torso, and then the Flamer into the right leg. Don't worry, on the next campaign, we're going to do the rules where we do heat and damage for Flamers. Much more better. And we're going to also have it where the infantry Flamers react the same way. So they do damage and heat. Anyways, the guillotine obviously hits with everything. Dropping the CF down to 32. As a reminder, there was a 40-ton mech standing on top of that building. Griffin firing, misses with everything. Grasshopper for our allies, misses with everything. Building collapses under the load. The Vulcan takes 4 damage to the right arm, 2 armor remaining. Falls 1 level, dealing 8 damage, 5 damage to the left arm and 3 damage to the left torso. The pilot avoids damage. However, the Griffin... Oh, also, by the way, Griffin took 20 damage, to include an actuator hit and a gyro hit. He falls, takes 5 damage to the left torso and 1 damage to the right arm. The pilot fails to avoid taking damage and takes 1 hit. He is now at 1 hit. All that being said and done, we'll skip the physical attacks on the Stalker. We'll skip the physical attacks on the Warhammer. And we're not skipping for the Grasshopper. No, why can't I kick you? Did I shoot? Did I shoot with something in the leg? No. Why can't I kick? No. I don't know why I can't kick. Well, we'll just move on with our life and I'll be sad. So the Assault does kick the Griffin, doing 12 damage to the right torso. It's down to 3 armor. Our Grasshopper's at 1 heat. Everything else is at 0 heat. Allied Assault is at 5 heat. Enemy Griffin is at 12 heat. Enemy Warhammer is at 7 heat. And Allied or enemy Blackjack is at 7 heat. I think the right move here is going to be for my happy little guillotine to make a happy little jump and go around like that, because we're going to be standing on a level 1 building. He's standing on a level 1 building. Yeah, that should be fine. Only downside that I can see is that I just put my back to a heavy flak turret. And that might not be fine. That might be very, very not fine, actually. I'll take the risk of a 2. And then we can jump. So I'll take the risk of 7s on medium lasers, and we'll fire a couple of SRMs into that poor little Griffin. The Warhammer, once again, doesn't have shots on anything, unfortunately. Our Grasshopper can definitely shoot the Vulcan, so we'll do that. I'm okay with going 2 over on heat. Shouldn't be a big deal. And then our Guillotine can fire into the back of a Blackjack on 8s. You'll go 1 over on heat. Ooh, I think you can go 5 over this turn. Yeah, that'll be fine. All right, so Allied Stalker firing on the Griffin does 5 damage to the center torso and 5 damage to the left leg, both of which are down to internal structure. SRM hits with 4 of the missiles, doing 2 damage to the left torso, 2 damage to the left torso, 2 damage to the right torso, and 2 damage to the right arm. Hitting with the other SRM-6 does another 2 damage to the left torso, 2 damage to the center torso with another engine crit. Poor guy. And then 2 damage to the right arm. It's like the place that has the most armor is the right arm. The allied Blackjack, or sorry, the enemy Blackjack into the Assault fires a medium laser, critting on the center torso with no effect. Misses everything else. Enemy Warhammer fires PPC and some medium lasers at the Stalker, hitting with the PPC into the left arm, medium laser into the left leg, and the other medium laser into the left leg as well. The Allied Assault hits the Warhammer with a large laser in the left arm. Our Grasshopper firing into the Vulcan hits a glancing blow, doing 2 damage to the left torso, and then medium laser doing 5 damage to the left leg, and 2 damage to the left arm, and 8 damage to the right arm, destroying the right arm of the Vulcan. Vulcan firing at the Grasshopper does 5 damage to the center torso, would have done 2 damage to the head, but rerolls with edge, doing 2 damage to the right arm instead. Then the Flamer hits with 2 damage against the right torso. Guillotine fires into the Blackjack, medium laser into the right arm, medium laser into the right leg, medium laser into the center torso rear, missing with everything else, unfortunately. Then the Allied Grasshopper goes into the Warhammer with a large laser into the left leg, missing with everything else. Our Stalker has to make a piloting roll and succeeds due to 20 plus damage. It is time for us to kick things. So the Stalker, skip. Warhammer, skip. Grasshopper, kick. Do the kicking. And please, dear goodness, kick the Blackjack. Blackjack tries to kick the Assault and succeeds, doing 9 damage to the center torso. Grasshopper misses It needed a 4 and it missed. Guillotine kicks the back of the Blackjack, doing 14 damage to the rear right torso. Critting on a heatsink. It's down to 3 internal structure. And the allied assault against the Griffin tries to punch it and hits the left torso. Critting on the left torso with no effect. Grasshopper stays standing. Assault stays standing. Blackjack stays standing. Everybody is doing okay-ish on heat. The enemy is up to 7, 5, and 7 heat. We win initiative. And voila. Oh, the Griffin managed to stand up. What a good job. Good job, buddy. I'm proud of you. All right, we'll take a risk for a 3. One of these days, the Warhammer might get into the fight. I don't know. All right, so the Blackjack and the Vulcan are both running away. What am I supposed to do to win this? Anyways, I actually forgot to look. So we need to destroy or rout 75% of the defending forces, primarily Lyran, Commonwealth Op 4. And that's really the only big thing that we need. That's the objective that matters. And as a reminder, the Op 4 is the Vulcan, Blackjack, Griffin, and the Warhammer. So with all that being said and done, what is CF of 85? You're on a height of 2. That's a height of 3. Think I think the smart move is probably going to be to jump there, and then we can face roughly that way and hope for the best. The Guillotine can jump, so you're standing on a height 3 building. That would also be a height 3 building, and we'll turn. Jump on it. Jump on it. Oh, that's a hard choice. Do I shoot the Griffin or the Warhammer? I think we shoot the Warhammer, honestly. So it's a 9 on the LRMs. It's an 8 on the medium lasers. It's a 6 on the large laser. So we're going to do 2 large lasers. We're going to do a couple of SRM6s, and we're going to call that a day. We can finally do things with the Warhammer. All right, so 5s on the PPCs. Yes, please. Yes, please. We'll go over on heat, and that'll be fine. For our Grasshopper, shooting into the Blackjack. 7s on the medium lasers, and large laser is a 7 as well. Yeah, we can go 3 over on heat. That'll be fine. And then for our Guillotine, let's just do the medium lasers, and we'll call that good for right now so we can cool down just a little bit. Allied Ostal missed with everything. The enemy Blackjack missed. Our Stalker missed with everything on 6s and 8s. Enemy Warhammer shooting at our Stalker hits with a PPC into the right arm, medium laser into the right leg, and then missed with another medium laser. Our Warhammer hits with 1 out of 2 PPCs going into the right arm of the enemy Warhammer. Light missile turret fires 2 LRM-5s, hitting with 4, then 2 missiles, both into the left arm of our Warhammer. The allied Grasshopper firing into the enemy Warhammer hits with a medium laser into the center torso, another medium laser into the center torso. hits with another medium laser into the left leg and another medium laser into the center torso, missing with the LRM. Enemy Vulcan misses with all the things, and then our Grasshopper hitting with a medium laser into the blackjack of the left arm, medium laser into the right arm, and a large laser hits the left torso. Enemy Griffin firing into our Stalker hits with a medium laser into the right torso and a medium laser into the left leg. Our Guillotine misses with everything. No! The horror. Kick the Griffin. Don't kick anything. You, kick the Vulcan. So Vulcan kicks the Guillotine, doing 8 damage to the left leg. Enemy, or our Assault kicks the Griffin, doing 6 damage to the right leg. Our Stalker kicks the left leg of the Griffin, doing 17 damage, destroying the left leg. Transferring 10 damage to the left torso, destroying the left torso, transferring 2 to the center torso, critting on 2 jump jets. Whew. Oof. And then also rolling a 12, so critting on 3 locations, destroying the gyro, because that's 3 gyro hits, and destroying a jump jet. Oofta. Oh, that's no good. The Griffin, however, gets his revenge on the Stalker, doing 11 damage to the left leg and critting on the lower leg and a heat sink. Womp womp. Our Guillotine misses. Stalker stays standing. Guillotine stays standing. Griffin, hardcore, does not stay standing. Takes 6 damage, 5 damage to the center torso. Would have taken 1 damage to the left leg, but it doesn't exist. Would have taken 1 damage to the left torso rear, but that doesn't exist, so it takes 1 damage to the center torso rear instead. The pilot takes 1 damage, now at 2 hits total, but he stays conscious. Griffin, because he's taken 2 engine hits and decided to light off last turn, is now at 19 heat. It does avoid a shutdown and avoids an ammo explosion. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Well done. We win initiative. That's always exciting. The Griffin is toast. We already knew it. He ejected. He's just like chilling. So now, that was a very interesting choice for that blackjack to make. So we'll have our Stalker go and say hello. So CF 119, I think that's safe, and also at a height of 2 so that we can kick him in the head. I'm always a fan of that. And our Guillotine can also hop over and join the party. We'll be on the same level, but that's fine. And then last but not least, the Grasshopper can, or sorry, the Warhammer can go over and ostensibly get a little bit of cover. Griffin destroyed by ejection, and the pilot blacks out while ejecting. So the Stalker into the blackjack, that's 8s on the medium lasers. I'm very okay with that. SRMs were also an 8. Large lasers are an 8. It's not worth the risk, so we'll just do all of that fun stuff. We'll be 2 over on heat, but that is very, very acceptable. PPCs into the back of a Warhammer on 4s. We can get hotter. We can be warmer. Yeah. The skill that would really help this one, what is it, hot dog? Hot dog where you actually like enjoy being warm. I think that's what it is. You need to put your hot dog on your Warhammer pilots, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so medium lasers into the blackjack, and then more medium lasers into the blackjack. SRM will be fine too. All I saw was bad things happening. Allied Assault, the Warhammer misses. Stalker at the Blackjack hits with a medium laser into the right torso, medium laser into the right leg. SRM hits with 5 of the 6 missiles, doing 2 damage to the right leg, 2 damage to the center torso, 2 damage to the left torso, 2 damage to the center torso, and 2 damage to the right arm. Another SRM-6 hits with 4 of the 6 missiles, doing 2 damage to the right torso, 2 damage to the right arm, critting on the shoulder, 2 damage to the right arm, critting on a medium laser, and 2 damage to the center torso. The enemy Blackjack hits with a medium laser into the right leg of the Stalker, doing 5 damage. Our Warhammer hits the right torso rear and the right leg of the enemy Warhammer. Both of those are now without any armor and are down to internal structure. Light missile turret fires LRMs at our Warhammer, hitting with a total of 3 missiles, doing 3 damage to the right arm. The enemy Warhammer fires a PPC at the Stalker, hitting the right torso, medium laser hitting the center torso, and SRM hits with 4 of the 6 missiles into the right leg, right arm, center torso, and left arm. Our Grasshopper hits with a medium into the Vulcan, hits with a medium laser into the right leg, medium laser into the left leg, and medium laser into the head, doing 2 damage. The pilot takes 1 hit, but the head is still at 6 armor. Vulcan misses with the Stalker, or misses against the Stalker, and then our Guillotine, medium laser. That's interesting. So glancing blow into the right arm, which transfers to the right torso. And then another one into the right torso. The Stalker falls, doing 5 damage to the center torso and 4 damage to the right arm. The pilot avoids taking damage, however. All right, well, our Warhammer will skip attacks on that one. I would like to kick a Vulcan. Yes, kick him. And then please kick a Vulcan for me. 7s for both of those. Hopefully at least one of them hits. The Vulcan misses. Blackjack going against the Stalker hits the left arm, doing 9 damage. And our allied Grasshopper misses. Grasshopper kicks the right torso of the Vulcan, destroying the right torso. Guillotine kicks the right leg. It is down to 1 internal structure on the right leg. Vulcan falls, doing 4 damage to the center torso, but the pilot avoids taking damage. Good job, buddy. Vulcan's at 2 heat, Warhammer is at 6, and the Blackjack is at 6. Our Warhammer is at 7, and our Stalker is at 2. And we win initiative. So I think right now all we do is we get up and we turn and we face the enemy. Actually, hold on, wait. We get up and we turn so our back is not to the enemy, I hope. Here's the hoping. Oh, good. Goody. We fell and we blew off our own left arm. Isn't that great? I'm getting flashbacks. So we're just gonna lay here. Just lay there. Don't do anything. Two. I'll take the risk of a 2. The Guillotine. What's 108? I'll take that risk. 2. I'll take that risk too. I made a mistake. So I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so the guillotine. Literally, I just stepped on a building that couldn't handle my weight. Okay, cool. I love that for me. That's great. We're just going to move on with our life. Well, I guess we're not doing anything with the stalker. However, 5s to hit. Yes, thank you. Only downside is we're still warm. It might be more advantageous to fire with the things that have a better chance of hitting. Who would have thunked it? Who would have thunked it? So we'll unload all of our medium lasers into that happy little Vulcan. And then I think it's time. I think we get rid of the Warhammer, honestly. I think that's the right move here. So large laser and a bunch of medium lasers into the Warhammer as well. Looks like bad things happened to him. So enemy Blackjack missed with everything. Our Warhammer firing a medium laser hits the right leg, critting on the heatsink and the hip. SRM-6 hits with 3 missiles, critting on the right leg with no effect, hitting the left torso rear and the right leg. Medium laser does really bad things to the Warhammer. Crits on the SRM-6 as well as the SRM-6 ammo, doing an ammo explosion, doing 156 damage. The rest is history, honestly. Warhammer ejects, and it goes boom. The allied Grasshopper gets hit by a bunch of things. Our Grasshopper hits the Vulcan in the left leg, critting on the hip, hits the left torso, critting with no effect, hits and destroys the left leg, destroys the left arm, and hits the center torso. There's no armor left on this poor little mech. This poor little mech. It doesn't matter what happens to the Warhammer. It's already dead. The light missile turret does hit the Stalker with an LRM-5. And then our friends miss with everything. The Vulcan falls on its right leg, also destroying its right leg, transferring all the way to the center torso, down to 7 internal structure on the center torso. Have you ever guys seen the Ballad of Buster Scruggs? Oh, my wife is telling me what it is. But do you remember the dude who's like has no arms and no legs? That's this poor little Vulcan right now. And that is 3 out of 4 dead, which means we get to type that beautiful /victory. Boop. Done. And with that, we have now achieved our victory conditions. Go us. Yay. We'll hold off on the gift this time. It was not our best battle in the world. We retain control of the battlefield. All of those things are true. All right, so the heavy flak turret did not escape. The light missile turret also did not escape. The Blackjack, it's conceivable that he escaped. So we can't really salvage anything this time around, unfortunately, because we don't have the salvage available. But that's okay. You know, I'm really excited to using the new salvage system in 50.10. I was playing around with it a little bit before. The Vulcan should go to, that was Grasshopper. Griffin was the Stalker. Okay. I've been playing around with it a little bit, you know, off stream, and it's honestly a lot of fun. I I enjoy the challenge of it a lot more, and it makes a lot of those other kind of civilian units much more, they mean a lot more. So we'll issue our purple heart, and voila. All right, so the convoy raid that popped up right before we went into that mission. An enemy supply convoy is on the move, and this is our chance to cripple their logistics. Your mission is to intercept and raid the convoy before it can escape the engagement zone. These supplies are vital to the enemy's war effort, and every truck or transport we eliminate weakens their ability to fight. Speed and aggression will be the key. Hit them hard, hit them fast, and get out before their reinforcements arrive. Your primary objective is to prevent at least 50% of the convoy from reaching the far side of the engagement zone, disrupt their formation, destroy their transports, and force them to abandon their mission. If their escort force proves too formidable, you have an alternative route to success. Destroy at least 50% of the convoy's escorts to force the remaining defenders to surrender. With their protection shattered, the convoy will have no choice but to stand down. The more convoy units that survive, the greater the spoils. Disabling transports instead of outright destruction may increase salvage potential, but that is a secondary concern to stopping the convoy itself. However, do not linger. The enemy will respond quickly, and we will not have the control of the field when the battle ends. Execute the raid with precision, neutralize the targets, and withdraw before the enemy's full force arrives. Your employer has decided alongside an integrated force. The data center that we just destroyed somehow also detailed some scout mechs for them. The primary thing here is preventing the force from reaching the far side of the map, which is the convoy. Okay. Cool. So the convoy is one mech. It's one mech. We have to destroy a heavy battle mech recovery vehicle. That's it. That's all we have to do. Okay. Neat. You know, we could make this harder and say that we have to destroy the convoy and the recon mechs? I don't know. Anyways, all right, so listening to Ileani, you right-click on the mission or scenario, you hit deploy. That way you don't make mistakes. Don't make mistakes, friends. Baker Lance, confirm. Yes, you are sure. And this mission will happen on the 20th, so we'll advance a day. Wounded personnel, ruh-roh, laceration to the head. That's okay. Advance a day. Oh. Neat. So as soon as we advance a day, then everything should be resolved, right? That's how that works. We can go ahead and do this mission, and then we can resolve it. I know that we hit all of our objectives, but we can resolve this, hopefully. Maybe... Actually, it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for me to do this. All I'm doing is wasting ammo. It told me that I can complete the mission. And I complete the mission. Success. Aha! All right, so people got experience. This is great. Issue the awards. Claudia, the recruit, has partaken in combat. It is time for us to give Claudia... She has earned a call sign. So randomization, randomize call sign. We now have, hold on, wait. Private Claudia Vesper Buchowski. All right, everybody congratulate Vesper Buchowski. Yay! All right, our standing with the Draconis Combine has increased by 1.88. We're still untested. And then our standing with the Mercenary Review Board has increased by 1.88, and we are still registered. Good for us. Where are we? So there is no hiring hall here. This is kind of a podunk nothing planet for the most part. We need to go someplace with a hiring hall. So of course we can go to Galatea because it has a great hiring hall. And it's not that far away. It's 2 jumps. So why don't we mothball some stuff really quick, and then we jump to Galatea. Mass mothball with all of the things. Mothball. It'll take us a while. And then for tanks, we can mothball our vehicles. Go forward a day. Things should be mothballed sufficiently. Not yet. Okay. Now things are mothballed. I think all the things are mothballed. Oh, nope. Javelin still apparently needs a lot of time. I don't know why. All right, everything is mothballed. So now it should be a little cheaper for us to get to Galatea. It's 2 million C-Bucks cheaper. Now, of course, we did get a little richer for completing that mission a little early, which is fine. But we can't take anything for granted here. For mechs that are available, there's a Firestarter, Shadowhawk, Cicada, Ostrock, Wasp, Cyclops, Firestarter, Stinger, Flashman, and a Commando. None of those interest me very much. Let's go to Galatea. Oops. Interstellar map. Begin transit. Yes. All right, so we now have 47.5 days to blow. So we'll advance multiple days. Let's go to a new month, which will get us to November. All right, so we found some parts because we're still finding all of the parts from our auto acquisition. Still finding all of the parts, finding all the parts, things are arriving, and we get to the new month. So, dropship and jump ships have both appeared on the unit market. So, okay, here's a question for everybody. So the next campaign, which is the Billion Brigade, the goal is to get 1 billion C-bills. But then I was thinking, so your average, let's take a look here really quick. Your average jump ship is almost 1 billion C-bills. Your average drop ship is somewhere between, like, it averages out to about 400,000 C-bills. Should we make it so that the goal is actually 1 billion C-bills in the bank with a jump ship and a drop ship? Because I kind of think so. Because I think that we need to be fully self-sufficient. I think. And for us to be fully self-sufficient, that means it's my favorite hunchback. It's my favorite hunchback, guys. And not just because it's the one that's in, the Era Report 3052, but it has an AC-20. Who doesn't love an AC-20? Yes, we are buying it. I don't care what anybody else says. We're getting it. And there's a Crusader, which the thing that always gets me with Crusaders is inadvertently, I always end up dumping both SRM-6s at point blank range. And then I get mad because I can't kick something because I just fired the SRMs out of both of the legs. Yeah. And we got a longbow and a Clint and a Whitworth, which is fine. Okay. Let's go to the next month. Oh. Hodor. Hunchback. Mothball. There we go. And we'll go forward multiple days to a new month. And then we wait. All right, here we go. Also, as a side note, if anybody has been playing recently on any of the nightlies or anything like that, and they've noticed their experience rating has suddenly jumped up out of nowhere from regular or whatever the case is, now they're legendary or heroic or whatever the case might be, it is being fixed. This is a thing that is being fixed. Do not fear. Do not worry. It will get better. Now then, we are on to the new month. Things have happened. We are moving on with all of the things. Let's go to the unit market. Let's see what's there. So we've got a Crusader. We've got a Hornet, Stinger, Cicada, Commando, Archer, Crusader, Commando, a Guillotine. Always a good time. But it's on the black market, which means we're probably going to get swindled if we try to buy it. Same thing with the Warhammer and the Wasp. All right. Well, we are about 10 days from Galatea. Let's go ahead and see what's up after this. Oh, we can't find IS bar armor. Fine, whatever. Remove IS bar. It's interesting that you can't get bar ammo or bar armor. Armor. Bar. Where's it at? Why am I blind? Okay, we'll look for it later. Advance the day. Go forward a couple more times, and then we can be on Galatea. And with all of that being said and done, so we have a bunch of missions, and most of them yield us not making money, except for this random objective raid, which allegedly has us making 87 million C-bills. However, we'd be going against elite enemies for 2 months. With green allies. You know, honestly, I am willing, if we can get slightly better salvage rates, I'm willing to potentially take this risk. Maybe. How are we making... Oh, that's not 87 million. That's 87,000. Friends, commas matter. Commas matter. So 40% salvage rates, extraction raid over 3 months. Let's see if we can't get better terms on some of these things. The answer is not really. There we go. Straight support 80%, 50% salvage rates, 20% transport, whatever. That's fine. Going against regular enemies for a 2-month contract against the Lyran Commonwealth, which, fine. Who were we just working for? We were just working for the Lyran Commonwealth. It might not behoove us to immediately go against the people that we were just working for. but at the same time. Okay, we'll keep that one in our back pocket. You know, this one's starting to look okay-ish. Big on the ish. All right, so we can be hired by the Lyran Commonwealth to do a planetary raid, which is 11 months long. I don't love that. I'm kind of thinking we just wait until next month. I think we just wait until next month and let's see what pops up. And why don't we, let's go ahead and unmothball a bunch of things so that we can, number one, we're going to sell the Highlander because I'm tired of just having it sit around where it's not doing anything and I can't get Ferrovirus anyways. So we're going to sell the Highlander. Yes. Bye-bye. And then let's go ahead and unmothball everything. It'll take a while. That's okay. There we go. Longbow, we can assign tech. Do we have any techs who aren't doing anything actually? Let's take a look. So, oof, why do you have 4 units? No. Okay, let's go through and let's make sure everybody is actually evenly distributed. And if I need to, I will get more mech techs. So assign tech, mech, assault, longbow. Assign as a tech, mech, assault, stalker. Assign as tech, mech, heavy archer. Oh yeah, I definitely need more mech techs. Which is fine. Oh, I have just enough mech techs. Just enough. All right, let's go ahead and look at the personnel. Oh, womp womp. Okay, we're going to take off Golden Hello. Because I don't feel like paying a year's salary straight up front. All right, so we'll advance. Our tech crews are going to be a little overworked for a short while, but let's go ahead and go to the repair bay and let's see what we can't find for stuff to fix. Especially the primary mechs that we have, like our Grasshopper, for example. So we can fix all that. We can fix the guillotine. The Stalker is going to need some love. So reattaching, we want that to go to somebody who is not incompetent. I said is not incompetent. Reload the things, replace the things, and the Stalker should be good to go now. Warhammer didn't really take much damage last time. Shadowhawk. We can replace this left mech torso that was giving me such a hard time. But probably go to ×4. Yeah, that'll be fine. Commando. We'll do a replacement left torso. And we'll do that on a 4. And then we just have to kind of wait. We can definitely repair a gyro. Replace a right arm. I think we can do these things. We have the technology. Nothing else to do until those things are done. And then finally the javelin. We can start doing some of these things. Thankfully, we finally have some cockpits in stock. And we can replace it on a 4 maybe. Place the actuator, and now we're just kind of stuck until the next day. All right, let's take a look. Hangar tech. So we'll assign a couple of these folks an extra one, but it's really, I really do like to have one mech per, or one tech per mech. Advance a day. Oh, we failed to do the right arm. That's unfortunate. Okay, so start replacing some armor here. And reattach the left arm. The right arm we can also reattach or replace. Oof, okay, cool. Place a heatsink on a 4, that's fine. Same thing there. The bin is fine. Reload the thing. And replace some things. We have enough in stock. I can destroy one on accident. And then we replace some more armor. AC5. Don't really want to destroy you on accident. And yes, I know that I could do the mass repair and salvage. I actually like the tedium of doing this myself. I'm a weirdo, I know. But to me, it's almost relaxing to have these mindless little tasks that you do. It doesn't take very long, in my opinion. Okay, so we'll go forward today. Most things were succeeded or completed successfully. And now we can bring everybody pretty well up to speed, actually. Okay, so we're waiting on the Javelin, and we're waiting on the Shadowhawk. Let's see what we get here. Success. Let's replace the armor, maybe. Actuator. Oh no, we failed. That's unfortunate. Wait, hold on. Why? Why can't I replace the right arm? Weird. Okay, well, we're going to order some new right arms, and we're going to go from there. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Oh, good. Now we can order all the things. So we're pretty much going to skip ahead to... let's go ahead and do some mass personnel training, actually. That's a good idea. Mech Warrior, experience level, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Skill. Let's look at Mech Gunnery. Okay, so a lot of people can go forward. Boop. People got better at their job. This is good. And then mass personnel training. Let's go ahead and look at mech techs as well. Skill, tech of the mechage. 2 people can get better. Let's do that. And then last but not least, let's look at administrators and mass personnel training, primary role. Okay, one thing I do wish, since for admin, it's all the same skill, I wish the primary role, you could just select admin when doing mass training. That would be nice. I understand the challenge of that, because essentially it's a different kind of list that you're pulling from, but it would be nice. Administration, where is it? There it is. Okay, so nobody there. Log, nope. Transport, nope. HR, nope. Okay, that's fine. I'll just be sad. All right, let's go forward today. And we're just going to kind of keep on going forward until we get to a new month, and then we can start looking at new contracts again. All right, and nobody wants to leave. Happy New Year! Yay. Here's to a great new year. Support Person of the Year, good job. Zamruda Cantista, good job, MekTech. You have done a good job. Here's your cookie. Marksmanship went up. All right, so, standing with the Mercenary Review Board has decreased by 0.38. I wonder why that happened. And then Draconis Combine and Lyran Commonwealth, we both went down on for some reason. All right, well, let's go ahead. Let's look at the unit market really quick. So we've got a Phoenix Hawk, Stinger, Shadowhawk, Standard Shadowhawk, the Mongoose. Isn't it adorable? Commando and Griffin. Which Griffin are you? Hold on. Oh, that's not a Griffin I'm used to. This, I think, is a new Griffin. So, 55-tonner with 17 heat sinks. It's got 152 armor, 91 internal structure. It's got a large laser, 3 medium lasers, 2 machine guns, and a pair of small lasers. What in the wide world of sports? And it doesn't have any jump jets, just a 5.8. I don't think I like it. That's a weirdo. That's a weird one. I mean, it's... I don't even know how to feel about that. We're going to think on that one. All right, let's look at our personnel actually. All right, so if you guys ever have it where it pops up, you go to the personnel market and it just looks like this. Just expand the thing out. The personnel are here, I promise. It just does weird things. Let's look. There's only one MekTech, and it's a green one. That's fine. We'll hire the one MekTech. All right. With that, let's look at those contracts, and we have 3. Hold on. Let's look at the maths. So we've got a 13 million potential profit, a 114,000 potential profit, and a 1.9 million. Let's look at the 13 million first. So 100% straight support, 30% transport terms, and 30% salvage rights. And going against regular forces, and it is a 16-month contract. Let's see if we can't get better transport terms. Nope. do we want to risk the salvage rates? Yes. Ah, we win. Okay. So we're up to 50% salvage rates. I think this is probably our best bet. Unfortunately, we're going against the Lyran Commonwealth, who we were just working for. But I think that we can do this without a problem. So we're going to accept it. All right. You have selected a garrison assignment. As part of this contract, your unit will be responsible for maintaining a defensive presence in your assigned sectors. However, we cannot predict when or even if you will be called to fight. Furthermore, we have no reliable intelligence on potential adversaries or the scale of any engagement that may arise. The provided data is for estimation purposes only. Situational developments may occur without warning, and you should be prepared for anything from prolonged quiet to sudden large-scale conflict. Flexibility and readiness will be essential for success of this contract. Let's sign. Nothing could possibly go wrong. All right, so you're under assignment, but not off the hook. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is our logistics stuff. I look forward to working with you. They are willing to mothball all of our stuff, and then our stuff will be unmothballed prior to arrival. Yes, we will accept. And it'll cost us 1.8 million C-bills. Let's accept it. Unfortunately, that's probably based on a couple of things that, yep. So all of these things, mothball. Mothball. Advance, advance, advance. Okay. And from here to where we are going, we will be... Now, if anybody knows a faster way to figure out how long it's going to be, like actually going to be to get to your final destination, let me know. The only way that I know how is to click on your destination and re-click calculate jump path. So we are 53.9 days from our final destination. Okay, sounds good. Let's advance a month. Waiting, waiting, waiting. So not a whole lot happening. Unit market update. Let's go ahead and see what's there. If anything, there's an awesome and an Atlas on the black market. Don't trust it. They're going to steal your money. But there's also a Valkyrie and a longbow. All right. So we have a little bit more time. I think at least 15 days. There we are, and we have one jump remaining. We haven't really missed out on a whole lot, just our crazy person still going crazy. They did maintenance on the Javelin. We will not receive any parts while we are in transit. So while you're in transit, if you go to your warehouse and you look at your in-transit, I might have seen my own words. You're not, at least in one, if you're on veteran, the veteran settings, you won't receive things while you're going from system to system. Okay, that's weird. We're going to go ahead and use this. Do this. Okay, cool. There we go. Yes. All right, and we start the mass repair when we select the unit. Voila, everything is at 100%, just for us to not have it at 100% soon. We are 8 days from the planet. Alrighty, and all of our things, they have been activated. Go us. Now, I do want to at least have a few things that are not unmothballed for a just-in-case kind of situation. Things like a longbow, a warhammer, an extra grasshopper, and, oh, of course, my hunchback. So we're going to go ahead and activate all those guys. And we're going to go to the briefing room and make sure that we've got everybody we need. Here, so, whoops, Charlie Lance is going to be for patrol. Abel Lance is going to be front line. Baker will be maneuver. And voila. And just to double check everything, we've got our Guillotine, Grasshopper, Stalker, and Warhammer and Abel Lance. We've got our Archer, Gladiator, Shadowhawk, and Rifleman and Baker Lance. I'm probably going to swap out, I'm going to guess, kind of want to swap out the Archer for that, the Hunchback. And then we have the Vulcan, Whitworth, and Stinger. So, as our area of operation objectives, we need to maintain control of all 3 facilities, and we need to keep our victory point count above 0. So we're maintaining 3 of our 4 objectives right now, because we're doing the things. But I think that we're going to have to maintain an active presence on this map in order to make sure that we are able to succeed in our objectives. Nobody wants to leave. This is great. Personnel market. Not a whole lot to look at here. We've got an ultra green MekTech, which maybe not. Why would I hire a dependent? No, I'm not hiring a dependent. That's just silliness. All right, let's look at the units. Oh, hello. So there's a Striker on the market. It's a 4.6 80-ton mech that carries an AC-5 PPC large laser and 3 medium lasers, of which it only has 15 heat sinks. Why? And it has a whole pile of armor, so it can stand there as you shoot it, and it overheats. It's not worth it. Now, if it had double heat sinks, okay, fine. I can get behind it. But why? We've got a longbow, Shadowhawk, Stalker, who doesn't love a Stalker? A Wolverine, Thunderbolt, Dragon, which dragons are always fun. They're a 5.8, 60-ton mech with 160 armor, a medium laser, AC-5 and LRM-10 with a rear-facing medium laser. Not the best things in the world, but they get the job done most of the time. Even more Warhammers, a Whitworth, Griffin, Crab, Phoenix Hawk, a Cicada, a couple of Panthers, a Griffin, and a Grasshopper. Now, comparing that last Griffin that we looked at, which had no jump jets and was a 5.8 and had a whole pile of weapons. Then you look at your standard Griffin, which is a 5.85 with 12 heat sinks, a PPC, and LRM-10. And you might think, looking at it, but, Doc, the other Griffin had so many more weapons and it had the heat sinks to be able to handle the weapons. You're not wrong. You are not wrong, but giving up the maneuverability of jump jets is not to be underestimated. Giving up the maneuverability of those jump jets makes the Griffin much less good, in my opinion. Much, much less good. All right. Well, we're going to keep on going with that. All right, and we have a resupply. So we have 16 tons of resupply capacity. Let's... Hold on. Why do I have 0 tons? Also, we'll use the employer's convoy. Balanced. Well, that's fine. Why? Because they didn't get unmothballed. That's why. That's unfortunate. Here we go. All right, I think I saw a vehicle crew. Yep, recruit. Great. Personnel, vehicle crew, and assign. Gunner, tank, medium support, prime mover. Ta-da! Everybody should be happy. Okay. And so let's go ahead and keep on moving across and just exploring and making sure that we are keeping everybody on their toes. And there were no mech warriors. Is that correct? Yeah, just a MekTech. All right. We'll keep on working. We'll keep on doing the things. Charlie Lance came back, so we'll keep on slowly working our way across. Fortunately, because I'm playing on easy mode, we don't have to worry about fatigue. Don't worry. In the next campaign, I will definitely have to worry about fatigue. Now, I'm not planning on playing with advanced scout settings. I have been off stream, and I actually kind of enjoy it. I kind of like the challenge. I think that advanced scouting could work really well if a few things were modified. I don't think that it is great in its current implementation, but I love the idea of it. I love the idea of having to roll on each individual hex for essentially a scouting check. I don't think the baseline should be a 12. It's kind of rough. It's kind of a lot rough. Right now, the enemy morale is peaceful. There's no enemy activity in the area of operations. I should probably stop scouting now. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I think we just go to the next month. And we'll see what happens. All right, employee turnover check. Let's go. Okay, nobody wants to leave. Yes, of course, I can't find the things. And personnel market, so special event, not anything. Bonus support point, good for us. We get 1.6 million C bills for our payout. And then we have bills totaling about 450,000 C bills. Enemy condition is advancing. All right, let's look at the personnel market here. So, MekTech, there's a doctor, a couple soldiers, medic. Nothing too crazy there. Advancing, what does that even mean? The enemy is gaining momentum, making coordinated strikes and forcing your forces to fall back. They are beginning to dominate key areas of the battlefield. Oh no! All right. we definitely probably want to scout around each of our bases. Oh, look, now we have 40 tons of space. Good for us. So we'll use our convoy this time. We'll do a balanced. And they're going to give us the IS bar 5 that we have been missing. The only thing otherwise that we need would be IS bar 7 or Aerosphere bar 7. Oh, good. Captain, convoy disintegrating under heavy fire. Hostile armor units advancing at high speed. Reinforcements required immediately. Total defeat imminent. Enemy overwhelming all attempts to break free. We're going to make one final attempt to withdraw. Okay. Is bad. Is very, very bad. Let's see here. Let's take a quick gander here. Briefing room. We have a crisis. Friends, we have a crisis. So we do have allied aircraft that are coming to help us, as well as allied artillery, which may or may not actually be helpful or beneficial. We do have an enemy archer as well as an enemy chameleon, both of which are bearing in. I think that this can be handled by Bravo or Baker Lance. So right now, target number is a 6. We can bring that down to a 4, reinforce instantly, and they succeed, rolling a 7 versus a 4. I'm happy that we did spend the support points. All right, so we are going to go ahead and do this one mission, and then we're probably going to go ahead and call it a night, which brings us to this being a good time to say that if you're watching, you haven't already, I would really appreciate if you follow the stream, if you've been enjoying it. If you're watching on YouTube, I would really appreciate if you took the time to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button for this video. All right, so 4-3, we'll advance 1 day, and we'll start. So your convoy, your ground convoy, is being cornered by aggressive enemy elements intent on cutting off your supplies and crippling our logistics. The convoy is carrying essential resources for your operations, and its loss would be a severe blow. Your primary objective is to ensure the convoy reaches the opposite edge of the engagement zone while simultaneously routing the enemy by destroying at least 50% of their force. The enemy is executing a relentless pursuit, attempting to isolate and destroy the convoy before it can escape. If they are not routed here, they will continue striking at our logistics, inflicting immeasurable damage over time. Prioritize extracting the convoy, but if necessary, sacrificing the supplies is acceptable if it means crushing the enemy force beyond recovery. We will control the battlefield at the end of the engagement, ensuring that any remaining salvage or assets fall into our hands. This battle is about more than just one convoy. It is about securing the future of our supply lines, break them, and ensure they never threaten our logistics again. We have friends that are helping us. Commence. Go. I'm a little afraid. I'm always afraid when the allies bring artillery, because I feel like they normally land on me instead. Oh, I was going to swap out the archer for a hunchback. Oops. All right, so deploy on round 1, that's fine. I'm not scared, you're scared. This is not good. Oh, but we come in here. Okay, this is fine. There. Yeah, see, this is what I'm worried about. Where are you trying to shoot? I would almost rather have no artillery. And by almost, I mean, I would really kind of like to not have artillery. Interesting. There we go. Oh no, I selected the wrong thing. Was bad. Was bad. Is extra bad. It's fine. Everything's going to be fine. All we have to do is kill the chameleon before he can hurt me. All right, stand by for 5 seconds. And we're back. As always, whenever you have family who are going to bed, just wish them good night. You know, if they're going to bed at a different time, wish them good night. Never hurts anything. So we'll fire a PPC. That'll be a-okay. The dump truck, there's nothing to do. Yeah. Good luck, my friend. So we'll fire our medium lasers, we'll fire the SRM, and then we'll see what happens. Chameleon firing on the archer hits with a medium laser into the right arm, misses everything else. Our archer firing into the chameleon hits with a medium laser into the left torso, medium laser to the right arm. Oh, hits with a medium laser into the head from the Shadowhawk. AC5 hits the right arm. It's down to 0 armor. The SRM hits with 1 missile into the right arm. It is down to internal structure, critting on the large laser in the upper arm. And then our air friends fire on the enemy archer, hitting the center torso. Torso hits our air friend, unfortunately, with 12 of its 20 LRMs on the right wing, aft, and left wing. And then it hits again, injuring the pilot, doing 5 damage to the aft, 5 damage to the nose, and 5 damage to the nose, and an additional 1 damage to the nose. Our rifleman hits with a PPC into the right leg on the chameleon. And then our gladiator hits with a medium laser into the right torso on the chameleon. Chameleon takes greater than 20 damage, but stays standing. Fortunately, it misses the dump truck. Chameleon is a little warm. It's fine. I don't care if you get bogged down. Just be not there. Did the archer go? No, it did not. We can do that maybe. Rolled a 2. If this was golf, you would be successful. Okay, so all of the artillery missed and scared her off the board for the most part, which I'm okay with. Archer has no shot. I don't think anybody has a shot, actually, because he jumped into a little valley. We can hit with the PPC, kind of. Do that. It's a 10 on the PPC and a 12 on the medium laser. That's the only thing that can even shoot at him, man. So aircraft firing and the Archer are hitting, doing damage all over the place. The Archer fires at one of the aircraft, hitting. Chameleon firing at the prime mover misses. Archer took 20 damage but stays standing. Chameleon is at 7 heat. The Archer is at 3. And then all of our aircraft fly off the map for the most part. At least, not all, I guess. 3 of the 7. Do y'all have a favorite aircraft to be able to utilize? Or, even bigger question, do you feel like aircraft is overpowered in BattleTech? Do you feel like aircraft is overpowered? There are definitely days where I do. Especially when you're just walking along on the map and then suddenly you have 12 bombs dropped on your mech. What am I supposed to do with that? So we'll get our convoy moving. So 5 not get stuck. Here's the hoping. And we're good. We'll go ahead and move the rifleman just a little bit closer, and we'll also jump the guillotine over, or gladiator over, just so we don't have to worry about it getting stuck. Thumpers all miss, which is fine. So the LRMs are a 9 to hit. I'm okay with getting a little warm to fire both of them right now. The Shadowhawk, we can fire with most things and be fine. The Rifleman, it is a 12 on the PPC. The Dump Truck, just keep driving, my little friend. Keep driving. And then finally the Gladiator, it's 10s on the mediums, and whoops. Okay, let's try this again. 10s on the mediums and 10 on the SRM. Hopefully something hits. Our Archer misses with everything. Our Shadowhawk only hits with one missile, doing 2 damage to the center torso. Our Rifleman misses. The Chameleon misses with everything. And then our Gladiator also misses with everything. No one can hit today. Although it is a little more difficult when everybody's jumping. 7 to hit on the kick. We'll give it a try. Chameleon hits our Shadowhawk, doing 10 damage to the left leg. Our Shadowhawk also hits, doing 11 damage to the right leg. It is down to 3 internal structure on the Chameleon. Our Shadowhawk stays standing, and the Chameleon also stays standing. Our Archer is up to 4 heat. Our Gladiator is at 2. The Chameleon is at 10 heat. And we lose initiative. We'll get our convoy moving. Doesn't really matter too much what I do at this point. I do feel like that would be a better move. So I feel like he's going to keep going after the dump truck, I think. We're going to find out, though. Once, you know, MegaMek catches up. All of the artillery lands at places, but misses where it was going for. So the Chameleon jumped away. Archer can't hit. The Shadowhawk. Let's see here. Can't really do a whole lot. If we rotate, can't hit with the right arm. No, we can't do anything here. So we'll skip the Shadowhawk. The Rifleman can do things. So it's 9s on the medium lasers, which I think is very reasonable. No reason for the trucks to fire. And then, last but not least, a couple of medium lasers from the left arm. Sure, why not? Even if it does tend to hit. Our archer, or sorry, enemy archer firing at the aircraft misses. Our rifleman hits with a single medium laser into the left arm. The gladiator misses everything. Chameleon only hits with a machine gun into the rifleman, doing 2 damage to the left arm. And then that's it. It's like the slowest moving fight of all time. Chameleon is at 11 heat. And then the archer is at 3. And with that, we once again lose initiative. I mean, I do feel bad for this little chameleon. All right. Well, the artillery finally hit where it was trying to hit, which is well behind where the enemy archer is. Fortunately, we should be able to hit with one of our medium lasers, I hope. It's a 5 to hit. And then the Shadowhawk can also fire. It's a 7, an 8. We'll skip the LRMs, and it's a 7 to hit on the SRM from the Shadowhawk into the Chameleon. With the Rifleman, it's a 7 on the PPC. I think that now is the time for us to get warm. So we'll go 5 over on heat and fire both of our PPCs. The dump truck doesn't matter. The prime mover doesn't matter. And the Gladiator, it's an 8 on the medium laser and a 10 on the PPC. So we'll fire both medium lasers and the SRM. And let's see what happens. I think bad things happen. We're going to find out. So lightning firing on the archer. AC-20 hits the left arm. Medium laser and the medium laser both hit the center torso. Our archer hits the left leg of the Chameleon. Our Shadowhawk hits a medium laser into the center torso. Misses everything else. Chameleon firing a couple of small lasers, a bunch of small lasers actually. Hits with 2 of them. 1 into the left leg, 1 into the left arm. Machine gun into the left leg, and that's it. Our Rifleman hits with Oof. Both PPCs, PPC number 1 to the right torso, PPC number 2 into the head, dealing 10 damage to the head, blowing the head off. Goodbye. And then, for good measure, we destroy the right leg. You know, why not? Archer damages the lightning, damaging the landing gear, doing some more damage. The archer stays standing after taking a bunch of damage. See, friends, this is what I'm worried about. This kind of stuff right here. What if that lands on me? I don't want it to land on me. Now we have to run away. And yes, I know I've actually met the win objective. I want to kill the archer. I don't know why. I just want to. I want to kill him. We're not going to be able to hit with anything this turn, so we'll skip everything. Archer hits the lightning. Things fly off the map. Artillery happens. We still shouldn't be able to hit much of anything. Oh no, the archer's shooting at us. AC5, LRM. LRM from the Shadowhawk is just out of range of the archer. So everything is probably just out of range. Yeah, everything's out of range. Next turn, everything should be in range. LRM 20 does hit the prime mover, doing a whole bunch of damage to the front, but it's holding fast, actually. Prime mover is a beast. Archer is at 6 heat. And we win initiative. I'm down. So just keep closing the distance here. The dump truck just probably needs to run away, because if something looks at it weird, it's going to die. So the archer is going to be definitely out of range, but the Shadowhawk. So AC5 is a 9 to hit. LRM is a 9 to hit. I think we can do that. Oh, it hurts. 1 hex. 1 hex too far. We'll skip both of our trucks, and then the Gladiator. PPC is in range, and it's a 10 to hit. Let's go. Archer firing at the rifleman misses. Shadowhawk hits with an LRM. 3 damage to the center torso. Gladiator hits with the PPC into the left leg. Archer's at 4 heat. Everybody else is at 0. And we lose initiative. Just have to close the distance. That's all. No bigs. and the dump truck has to keep running. And still outside of range for the LRMs. Shadowhawk, very much within range. It's a 9 on the medium laser, 7 on the AC5, 7 on the LRM, and a 9 on the SRM. I'll take those odds. PPCs are 10s, so we'll just do 1 for right now so we can keep up the speed. Obviously, the trucks will keep on doing truck things. And then this PPC is a 10 to hit. Next turn, it should be much more better. So Shadowhawk at the Archer, AC5 hits the right arm, LRM hits doing 3 damage to the right leg, SRM hits with 1 missile into the right torso. Gladiator misses with a PPC, enemy Archer hits the Rifleman with 9 of its 40 missiles, doing 5 damage to the left arm and 4 damage to the right arm. And that, as they say, is that. Archer is up to 7 heat now. And we are still losing initiative. So when somebody is firing LRM 20s at you, you get up next to them. Oh, hey, look, our artillery actually helped us for once, doing 5 damage to the left arm. Anyways, when somebody's firing a whole bunch of LRMs, you stand next to them. It's the safest place to be, right next to them. Still 1 hex out. And from the Shadowhawk, though, it's a 7. A 5, a 7, and a 7. I like that. It's an 8 on the PPCs. We'll go ahead and double up on the PPCs and hope for the best. We'll skip the trucks. And then for the Gladiator, it's 10s on the medium lasers and an 8 on the PPC. We'll just do that. We'll do the PPC by itself and call it good. Shadowhawk hits with the medium laser into the center torso. AC5 hits the left leg. Rifleman hits with both PPCs into the center torso, doing a total of 20 damage there. It's down to 6 internal structure. Gladiator misses. However, bad news bears. Archer hits with the LRM 20. 12 missiles going into the prime mover. 5 damage to the right rear. 5 damage into the left side, immobilizing the vehicle. And then 2 more damage into the right rear. The Archer takes 20 damage but stays standing. I have a bad feeling about my prime mover. I'm scared. All right, so 9s with the LRMs. Let's do it. And for the Shadowhawk, yeah, single medium laser. That's what we'll do, I guess. PPC, ooh, Do we do a single PPC for a 7 or a bunch of medium lasers on 9s? I'm kind of a big risk, big reward kind of a guy. So we're going to do the PPCs on, or 1 PPC on a 7. Going to skip the trucks. And then fire the medium lasers and SRM on a 7. I like what I was seeing. So AC-20 hits into the archer into the right torso from the lightning. Our archer misses with all the things. Shadowhawk hits the right leg. Rifleman, PPC into the archer's center torso, blowing out the center torso. Nothing else matters. So with that, it should be pretty obvious, but we'll go ahead and type it out anyways. That beautiful phrase, /victory. And voila. No GIF because it's a weird size. We're not actually going to do that. And done. We retain the battlefield. So Prime Mover unfortunately was crippled. Everything else is doing okay. Nobody was hurt, thankfully, though. So the Chameleon is inoperable. The Archer is irreparable. Honestly, this is kind of a stinker. We're going to let all of this go so we can build up a little bit of salvage percentage. And it'll be fine. Oh, the Rifleman was doing work. All right. And that should all be fine. All of those things would have reached the north side of the map eventually. Well, okay, maybe not the Prime Mover, but you know. Okay, people did things, and there we go. All right, and with that, we've been on for about 2.5 hours. I have to go to work in the morning, and so I am going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you all so much for joining. For those of you who have joined me live, anybody who is joining me after the fact, thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. If you're watching on Twitch, please give me a follow. It means a lot, and it moves me towards that affiliate status so that I can get even more views, and who knows, maybe it'll earn me a beer along the way. That'd be great. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a like so other people can also find this content. As soon as 50.10 comes out, we're going to have a stream that's probably dedicated towards setting up the campaign, and then after that, we'll get started. If you guys want to see anything in particular, if you have any suggestions, anything that you want to see, any handicaps that you want, I don't know. I'm willing to hear it all. Just please go ahead and leave a comment. Just let me know in some way. Otherwise, you guys have a great rest of the night, and we will catch you next time. I will be trying to stream on Wednesday, hopefully, but if that fails, then I'll be back on Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.